Good morning, this is the Liberty Lion. Today I want to go over this Texas Jurisprudence 3rd edition page that I found in the Texas Jurisprudence book. This book, as far as I know, is not online, so I had to go to the library, the law library, to get it. And I want to explain to you what statehood or state of Texas is. Most people think that when the states joined the Union that the states no longer existed in their original form, that it all became part of a federal state, but this is not true. So it says here, Texas was admitted as a state of the Union on December 29, 1845, by a joint resolution of the United States Congress and the Convention of the Republic of Texas, with the Republic thus becoming a state on an equal footing in all respects with the original states. So what this is saying is that the Republic of Texas, which is commonly called Texas, joins the Union. And when it joined the Union, it created a state as far as being a state in the Union. So it became equal to all the other states that joined the Union. But it only became equal for certain things, and those things are for the creation of a military force to be erected under the Constitution as a land and naval force on certain lands. Those lands were the lands donated or sold to the United States for those military posts. And the Constitution talks about everything it's going to do at the seat of government and on those military posts. And that's in the Constitution. And it does those things on those lands for the states equally. So it's not that all the states gave up all their rights and all their power to the federal government, but it only gave up some. And what they were for was for the erection of a military. And so all the states had to give up some lands. And on those lands, the military was erected. And then they did some things for the military, like patents or copyrights. They supplied them with homes. They supplied them with buildings. They supplied them with medical. They supplied them with arms, uniforms. And they were all treated equally. So it's sort of like a social welfare system in the military. It's a socialist system because they're all treated equally and they all move up in the ranks, and then they have more benefit as they go. So the higher you go, the more pay you get, the nicer house you get, the more responsibility you get, the more medals and ribbons you get, etc. and so forth. So it says, although the government and laws of the Republic of Texas were held to be in force until the state government was organized on February 16, 1846. So it joined the Union December 29, 1845, and all the Republic of laws, all of them in the Republic of Texas Constitution, were enforced until February 16, 1846, when only those parts of the Constitution that conflicted with the federal government was abrogated, only insofar as what the parts that conflicted. So only the parts that were conflicted were repealed in the Republic of Texas Constitution. So it joined the Union to donate some lands to the federal government for the erection of forts, and those forts were equal to all the other forts in all the other states that joined the Union, and those forts would be used to defend the country. So the former governmental system was abrogated insofar as it conflicted with federal authority, and the Constitution and the laws of the United States were enforced in Texas immediately on its admission as a state, which really wasn't much, and most of them were only on the federal lands. The federal lands inside Texas that were donated or sold to the federal government for the erection of forts. And so directly, that's the only thing that the federal government does, is it erects forts and regulates the land and naval forces, and it regulates the militia, which are private citizens from the Republic of Texas, when those private citizens are called into actual service. If you start looking at the Constitution as a document which only regulates the people on the federal land as a defense with a C for all the states and the non-federal lands that they work for us with an indirect benefit of freedom, sovereignty, and peace and independence, then everything takes on a whole new meaning. And remember, it's all about controlling your mind, controlling what you think, what you believe. You can go out and you can be taught in school how to think a certain way. And then when you get out into the real world, you still continue to think that way, even though things aren't that way. So if I sit for a week and read stuff on contract law, everywhere I go, I see contract law. So if I'm a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So if you're told that the federal government is to control the states and everybody in the states and all the people and everything everywhere all the time and anything it wants, and it can use the force, any force, whatever force it wants against anybody it wants. If you're told that over and over and over again, then when you go out into the world, you believe it and you act like that. But it's not true. And if you just read the Constitution, you can see that the United States works for the United States of America. The states are the United States of America, like Republic of Texas is part of the United States of America. Its federal lands are part of the United States that work for the free, sovereign, and independent states to ensure peace, prosperity, general welfare, tranquility, defense with the C. To look at it the other way would be to Latinize it and use Latin words. But the founders did not write the Constitution from a Latin perspective. They wrote it from a Old French or Norse perspective. Old French is Norse. Its origins are from Norse, the Norse language. And language is very important. It's called orthography, and you should maybe do some reading on it. But defense is spelled with a C, and the entire Constitution is wrapped around this word, defense of the country and defense of the people. Defense is an Old French word, and it means to fortify, which is what the Constitution does. It only fortifies the country and tries to keep the peace and declare wars when necessary and makes treaties. That's basically all it does. It doesn't establish a currency for the Republic of Texas or the original states. It establishes a currency for the United States so that it can pay its military officers. Okay, so that's what the Constitution does, and that's here in the Texas Jurisprudence 3rd edition, the most recent edition of the Texas Jurisprudence book. Statehood, generally. And if you do some research on Republic of Texas, you'll see that the Capitol in Austin was built after Texas joined the Union. Yet on the rotunda floor, it doesn't say State of Texas, it says Republic of Texas.